So let's clean this one up. Oops. If you see tools making ridges in your clay, you know that you've got dried clay on it. This is one reason why most potter studios are a bit of a mess, because there's bits and pieces and things and stuff. And my one daughter said to me, "Mom, what are we going to do with all this junk you've got when you die?" And I said, "Well, first of all, I'm not dying right away. And secondly, I will leave a list of potters for you. You tell them, go to the liquor board. You can buy booze, but get boxes. And if you can carry it, you can have it." I said, so she wasn't very happy with that. "Yeah, but you know," I said, "Never mind, you don't want any of this stuff?" The other thing she said is, "Do you ever use anything for the purpose it's intended?" I said, "Not if I can help it." Okay, again, I'm going to bevel, flip. You will learn to remember to flip, or as many times as you put things together. Okay, now I'm going to make, okay, see, that's where I beveled the wrong one. Okay, so this one, because I'm doing this, I have to bevel it both the same way. Just that my container will be short. I'm going to make a lidded container. Just something to put whatever in. So I'm going to do this. And Regan is familiar with this. She's done several really neat pieces. I've got one of hers at home too. Again, score, slip. We should have music in the background. Oh. Would you care to sing?
No, nobody would like me singing.
I mean, that would be the end of Culture Days.
They'd stop watching the video the moment I started singing.
No, it's Culture Days, my dear. You never know.
You never know.
However, sometimes you do know. So, okay, another strip out of my strip basket. When we talk about stripping in pottery, we do not remove our clothes. Or at least I don't. You can edit that out if it's inappropriate. Alice said I could talk, so I'm talking.
There you go.
All right. Now, remember how I made the base on the mug? I'm going to do the same thing for this. Oh crap. I'm going to decorate this, so I'm going to pull it apart. And let's see. I have a multitude of things here. I'm going to make this one with music. Now, an important thing, when you roll, and you use wooden rollers, first of all, this is a thin veneer. So if you soak or wet this too much, it'll peel. And I have a spot or two that peeled on this. What I've learned from a workshop I was at is you powder with cornstarch. I have a makeup brush. The only reason I use it is you powder your piece, not heavy, but enough so that the wood doesn't stick. So now I'm going to roll this. You can see that. So I have a plain piece of clay, and now with a relatively even pressure, you can see that my roller is pretty clean, doesn't get all gummed up, and you can see the texture of the music notes. I'm not musical, so I don't know what the heck to call them. Okay, now we will put this back together again. And it's just a matter of adding some more slip. And you see that I use my metal rib here to kind of refine this corner. Fingers are good. And then my little heart sponge. Now, I will place this on here, and I think I'll do a decorative bottom on this one. So I'm going to cut this again, about 1/4 of an inch. I have bifocals, so the expression on my face has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It has to do with being able to appear down here for bifocals. Okay. Again, if you recall, my plastic blew away. I want smooth edges. Cover it. Smooth. Flip. Smooth. Now, because it's a decorative box, I'm going to put a music notes on the bottom, just for the heck of it. So now, I'm going to place this on here. What I'm showing you is basics that can be used for most everything that you do in pottery, even sculpture. You're still going to add pieces, you're going to slip and score, you're going to manipulate your clay, change its shape, you're going to deal with it drying inconsistently or whatever. As far as drying clay, many potters use plastic. I only use plastic if, for example, I made a series of mugs and I didn't have the handles. I couldn't do the handles that day. I had to do them next day. So I will wrap them in plastic, and the next day I will take them out. After that, I cover it only with cloth, old sheet ripped for easy handling for size. And I've discovered that, and read, and been to workshops where I've been told it's not how long you dry the stuff, it's how evenly you dry. If I'm in a hurry to get stuff in the kiln, I've even put stuff in my kitchen oven. Turn it on to 200, leave the door cracked open, and pray, or keep looking at them to see that everything's okay. But there are things that you learn as you go along. I used to leave my stuff covered like forever, and then get frustrated. But I don't do that anymore. Well, I get frustrated, but not over those kind of things. Now I'm going to just put some slip over here. And I'm going to do some kind of design on the base. And I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take my roller and just roll the edge over. One thing with having a bit of an edge on your pieces is that if you happen to use a glaze that runs a bit, you've got a ledge to catch it. If it runs on your shelf, you have a, it's a fun cleanup thing. Should have got some other water, but I didn't. Just use this to clean up. Then I think, that kind of looks crappy. Let's do something else with it. So I'm going to just do this all the way around. What this does also is make sure the base is sealed, although I don't expect to have liquid in here, but who knows. Whenever you use glaze or you make a piece, you have to look at it and say, is it going to be used for food? And that's how you choose your glazes and some of the effects. I know people that, again, tap the bottom. I know people that use glass because it's pretty, and melted glass. It has to be something that nobody in their wildest imagination can't serve crackers or something on, because the glass shrinks at a different rate than the clay, and it leaves little shards. The very first time I did it, I was, oh, this is so pretty. First thing I did was run my hand across it because it was so pretty. And then I wondered where the blood came from. I found out. I destroyed the piece because it was something that someone that may buy it, may inherit it or buy it at a secondhand shop or something. And I know people say, well, I put on it that it's not food safe. Cripes, people don't even read enter here, push instead of pull. Never mind that they're going to read the bottom of your piece. So I just don't do it. That's me. You do whatever you want. Now I want to make a lid for this guy. I want to do it. Again, I'm going to cut it, leaving some space. Curse my bifocals. My husband was doing some painting. He was up by the ceiling and he was really frustrated because of his bifocals. So next thing I looked, I saw him, he had taken his glasses upside down, put them upside down on his nose. And he said now he could see the ceiling. I said, okay, sweetheart, whatever works for you. These things are, like I said, very routine. You do it because you don't, any cleanup you do like this, like if the edges were left sharp, I would have to sand them down. And we've got graters and all kinds of things. Excuse me for 1 minute, I need to wipe my forehead here. Dew upon my brow is not aesthetically pleasing in the midst of claying. However, okay, this is going to be a lid. Going to fit like that. We need some music notes on the top. And we need a way of keeping this lid from falling off. So I'm going to take this piece of clay and I'm going to cut a strip. I'm going to cut a wider strip. What I will do is I will put these two pieces inside here, like this. And this will hold the lid from falling off. I see I have a crack starting here. That's not good. Okay. Now, slip. By the way, for making slip and mixing glazes, now just a tip that I found out a long time ago, and I went to haunted garage sales until I found a baby bullet and bullet for making adult drinks and stuff. They work wonderful for slip and glazes that are dry, glazes that, okay, hold your breath. Ha, ta-da! I will not make a knob on the top of this, although I could, but it hangs a little bit over the edge, so I'm not going to do that. So now that I know these are in place, I will tap them down. I will use my little sponge here, clean up the edges. That's why I like these little guys. When I fire this, I fire the lid on for the bisque. But I leave the lid off and I fire it on a cookie, which is just a flat piece of scrap clay that we've bisqued, and I put it on the cookie, and I've had good success with that. That means I don't have to leave this a raw edge, otherwise I would have to leave it raw. So there's got to be enough play in this to accommodate the glaze. And those are all kinds of things you learn as you go along.